Hey, I'm Miss Chrissie,
And I'm Steve.
and you're listening to JAGcast, episode number 132, Steve. 132.
I know it's a lot.
It is a lot. What do we do here on this podcast?
This is the podcast of Jenkintown Arts Garage, where we talk to artists, entrepreneurs, and other interesting people at the intersection of arts and technology, and occasionally, apparently, make video games like we're going to do today.
Yeah, so sometimes we talk to people, and today you're going to try to teach me how to make a video game or something?
Yes, well, we are continuing to not have guests on the show lately, and we are trying to live up to the name Arts Garage, right? I've wanted to do something like this with you for a long time. Like I wanted to build something with you. We're not going to make anything real today, but I thought that it could be fun to try to introduce you to some of the concepts of computer programming at a level that you might understand, which is
of a 10-year-old?
Exactly. That like a 10-year-old. So there is a product, or there's a website, I don't know what you would call it. It's called Scratch. It's a programming environment for teaching children the fundamentals of computer programming concepts. It's on the MIT website, scratch.mit.edu. I'll put a link in the show notes. And this is a very visual, and I'll open it up in a second. It's a very visual way of learning. And it is very simple kind of puzzle pieces, and we'll see that in a moment. And I went through their tutorial last night and made a little Pong type game.
Yes, Pong, which apparently has something to do with ping pong.
How have you never heard of Pong?
I heard about it yesterday when you told me about it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to do something. It's Pong-like. It's not two players, this game, but it's Pong. How have you never heard about Pong? It's like the first video game, essentially.
Don't play video games.
But this is been out since before we were bored, I think. Anyway.
I was doing other things. I wasn't playing video games.
Anyway, but I saw your youngest daughter playing with Scratch a few weeks ago on her Chromebook, I guess, from school.
Yep.
And I said, "Oh, that's cool. I haven't looked at Scratch in forever. I mean, I think I looked at this years ago, and it's gotten way better. The interface is way nicer now. So we're just going to give it a shot. And you said you wanted to go over the game that I already made, not start from zero.
Yeah, I think so, because...
So I'll try to go through... Okay,
let's do that.
We'll do that, and maybe we can make some modifications along the way. And so if you're listening, I'm going to try to provide useful commentary here so that it's useful to listen to. But really, this is best experienced visually. So let me open up my screen share here. For those listening, we're looking at...
Geez, Steve, it's so small.
That's small? That's... Okay, I can try to make it bigger. I'll try to make it bigger.
Hold on. I brought glasses. Give me a second.
Wait, how about this? Does that help?
Not so much.
I can't... I can barely see anything on... Chrissie can't see the screen. Is that better?
You look so old, the glasses. Okay, yeah. Oh, God, it's still so tiny.
You're looking at it on a tiny screen. It is the Scratch website. I'll zoom in some more. We'll see how much I can... it's going to be hard to do this with the zoomed in this much. Look, now the site is bigger than my window. Okay, this is as zoomed in as I can go, Chrissie. Right here.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay.
If I get real close.
Oh my god. Okay, well, we can zoom in on parts of the interface. Okay.
I definitely can't see it without the glasses at all.
Anyway, on this website, this is a software development environment, I guess you could say, where you have access to the different parts of making something like a video game. Scratch is nice so that you can make all kinds of things with it, but we're going to focus on making like a little simple game. And on the left side of the screen, we'll go from left to right. On the left side of the screen, you have some tabs at the top, like code, backdrop, sounds. In the code tab, you're going to spend most of your time in. There's this column here of these colored circles, like motion, looks, sound, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, and my blocks. And these represent collections of like programming things that you can click together, essentially like puzzle pieces. You can see that they're all color-coded and they're shaped differently like puzzle pieces, so they give you visually an idea of where they can fit in. And what you do is you pick these pieces and you compose them together into larger blocks in order to create the logic that drives whatever you're doing, in this case a game. And so next to this, you select one of these areas like motion, then you have the actual individual blocks. Then you have this little area in the middle like a canvas, and the canvas is where the actual code blocks live. And then on the right-hand side, you have a little preview of your game where you can start it and stop it with a little flag icon or a stop sign. So you can play it in here. And underneath of it, of the game screen, are your sprites. And the sprites are the things in the game, the things on the screen. And then all the way on the right side, there's a stage. So the way that you would start doing this kind of thing is the first thing you probably do is create a stage. And in fact, the stage is something that's programmable. I don't have anything in here, but you can actually change the backdrop in response to stuff happening in the game, which we haven't done yet. But you pick a stage, like you can go, and they have all these stages here you can pick from, all these different categories. Do you want to change a stage, or do you want to stick with one?
I do. Scroll around, and I will pick something else.
Well, we have fantasy, music, and all these things, but
you got to move slower.
Okay.
Oh, I would like to take the game to the desert.
The desert. Is there? This desert right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're in a desert. Is our backdrop?
Cartoony desert. Yep.
Yeah, so now we're in a desert. So we picked our backdrop. Now, the way that the Scratch works is you have your sprites, and then the sprites are basically where the code lives. So in this app, most of the code lives here
with the ball.
With the ball, and there's some other ones, but some other areas. But yeah, it lives mostly with the ball here. It's hard to do this with your screen being so small. But if you were watching this, you can see that there are these blocks that I put in here that represent the different things you can do. So
did you see did you, so that like yellow, I'm pointing, you can't see. The yellow larger block when flag clicked, do you have to put that in, or is that just a collection of the other ones put together? Like
these are all clicked together. Each one of these is separate, and I clicked them together.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
cool.
I'll show you the one of the easiest things on here to, I guess, probably understand is, so there's this. So the when flag click thing I just did there that played that music, that is what's called an event. And we're going a little out of order from the tutorial, but events are when things happen. So like when you click a particular button, the flag button, right? When a keyboard button is clicked, you can do that. When the background switches, you can do that. When you click on a sprite, you can do that. So any of these actions that are taken or things that happen in the game, they're called events, and the events are what you use to trigger some piece of logic. Okay, so yep. The one that you use the most in the tutorial that I did, the one that's easiest, is how to is using the green flag. So when you click the green flag, you can start the game, and so that's why a lot of them have that. So they're all coordinated, so they start at the same time. And so what you have to remember when you run one of these blocks of logic, it runs until the end and then stops unless you have it in a loop. So in this case, this little block here, all this block does is when I click the green flag, it's going to set the score to 0, okay? And then it's going to play the video game music in a loop. And it's just going to keep doing that until the game stops.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What are those little Post-it notes?
These I put these in while I was waiting for you to get your camera together. They're just comments. Like you can type whatever you want in here, just to give an explanation of what they are.
All right, cool.
Let's see here. So we have over here, we also have some logic to move the ball. That's probably the most important thing. So you can see if you click one of these blocks of logic, it will execute in the little preview so you can see what it does. And in this case, when you start the game, I'm going to take the ball and I'm going to point it in a 45-degree angle from wherever it is. And then I'm going to start a loop, and I'm going to move it 15 steps across the screen. And then when it hits the edge, it's going to do something that's built into Scratch called bounce, which means it's going to literally like fly off in the opposite direction off the edge of the screen. So you can see that because it just bounces around. See?
Yeah, it's
Right.
bouncing.
So that's already half the logic in here. So we have another one down here that is now the last two are a little bit more complicated. I made these more complicated than is in the actual demo, but the main logic for the ball is what do you do when the paddle touches the ball? So we have a ball moving around a background, right? Now we want to have some kind of game, so we're going to need something like a paddle. So you add a paddle in and you get that from a sprite. You can choose a sprite. You can choose any of these things. Anything in here could be. You can use any of these things. Doesn't matter what it is. This is where you get them from. And so I picked a paddle, and then you want to, because this game is like Pong, where you have to hit the ball with the paddle. The logic for the paddle is very simple. When the game starts, I set the X value as the horizontal position on the screen to wherever the mouse is, mouse horizontal position. So you can do this. So this is what it does. So it links your mouse to the paddle. That's all it does. So that no matter how you move your mouse, only the left and right direction makes it move, right?
Yep, got it.
And where the paddle is just arbitrary. Like I just put it there. Like you can move it wherever you want on the screen. But that's where I put it. And so what the ball is doing is when the game starts, we're going to go in a loop and we're going to check if the paddle and the ball are touching. Because we want to do something when that happens, right? We want to bounce the ball off the paddle. So if they touch, we're going to do a couple of things. One of the things we're going to do is update the score by 1 point. And we're also going to turn the ball a different direction. Now, I think in the demo, it just has it going 180. I have it picking a random number between 180 and 200 degrees to make it a little more interesting. So it bounces a little bit more random chance.
Okay, haphazard bouncing.
Yeah, and then I'm going to move the ball 15 steps and wait half a second.
So I have a question. When you did the tutorial, like, what did they tell you?
They told you to do mostly what this is. I just added stuff to it.
So so you open up the tutorial and it says, "Hey, welcome to tutorial." And then it says, if you want to have a ball flying around, you assign a certain number of degrees. Like, how did you even know that was the choice? Do you know what I mean?
Well, they walk you through building it step by step, and they show you what blocks to put together.
The tutorial specifically builds a Pong game?
Yes, it builds a Pong game specifically.
Oh, I see.
The
Are
one
there
I use,
other tutorials that build other games?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch of tutorials. And the thing is, you can share these. You share them with your, like on the project page, like I did here. And when you share it, other people can find it and they can play the game and they can leave comments. And it's all very, very cool. So if your child were playing...
Like, hey, I want to learn how to make a Pong game. So you do this tutorial. You make a Pong game. And you're like, oh, that was fun. Now I'm going to go make a... What's another game, Steve?
You make like an Alien Invaders game. You could make a like a I don't know. You could probably make
one
a
where it goes
racing.
pew 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 pew. That one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the full extent of this system is, Scratch. But it has a lot of features in it when you start looking around. So you could build all kinds of.
So the idea is like, okay, you do these little things, you make little baby versions of games, and then you're like, oh, cool, I learned how to work with all these different building blocks. Now I'm gonna make my own, and it'll be like an alien Pong game.
Well, yeah, it can be whatever. What's great about it is, I think when you see a project, you can kind of look at it, look at the code, and then you can make. I think you can make a copy of it. I'm pretty sure you can make a copy of it, and then you can do your own thing.
Okay, neat.
Yeah,
neat. I just said neat.
You see inside.
I'm like 100.
So in this case, as I said, I just if you understand what I'm doing here, we have a loop going on, as I said.
Yeah, so I understand that. That makes sense.
So the one thing I added something in here besides a random is I added this thing called a broadcast, which is an event that it's literally what it sounds like. It's like sending a message out into the world, and then anything that subscribes to that message is listening for that message will receive it. and then you can use that to trigger actions. And I'll show you why I did that. That's like a more advanced technique here. And so the only other thing on here, I guess, is when the ball gets hit, I also added this little kind of bounce effect and a sound effect. Okay. Ding, ding.
Okay.
So the reason I did that is I was trying to get it so when it hits the paddle, I want it to kind of look like it's deforming a little bit and then bouncing off of it, like a real ball would be. And so that's where I listened for that broadcast I just did called a hit. So when it's a hit,
Wait, do that again.
See, watch the little ball.
Wait. Oh, that ball. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the ball up there. See that? Okay. So what I'm doing is I just change the size. I make it like half the size. I wait a little bit, and then I bring it back to full size again, and I play the boing sound. And I do that at the same time I touch the paddle. See? And so, and I just kind of played around with the numbers until it worked, until it seemed like it felt like a decent approach. So that's the ball, and that's most of the game right there. And then the other parts are, we talked about the paddle, and then the line at the bottom, the red line. This is how you know the game's over. When you start the game, it just constantly checks to see if the ball is touching it, just like with the paddle. And if so, it stops the game. That's what stop all does. And it also broadcasts another message called game over, which I use for something else, and I'll show you that. And the little flying cat I added myself, because I thought it would be fun. So the flying cat is just another sprite that is in a forever loop, and I set the rotation to go left and right, so that way when it hits the wall, it by default it was like flipping over itself. This way it just looks like it's flying back and forth. And I have it moving 5 steps because I wanted to go slower than the ball. So that's why it's 5 steps instead of 15. So that means every cycle of the loop, it moves 5 instead of moving 15. So you imagine we could try. If we set the number higher, it should go faster, right? So let's see what happens. We change to 30 steps. See? Whoa, way faster.
Whoa, flying cat.
So there's that. And then when the ball hits it, so this is very similar to the code we saw over here for, I guess for the ball. This time, when the cat is touching the ball, I do this little effect. I make a different sound, and I make it go. Let's see if it works. Maybe it doesn't work when until I'm playing the game. Unless we broke something. Oh, there we go. So it doesn't really work on demand here, but I wanted to make the cat look like it kind of blew up and popped, and then came back. So I changed. There's these effects you can do in here. These looks, they're called, the purple ones. And so I made it look like it went fisheye for like a fraction of a second, and then made a little pop sound. Then ghost makes it disappear. Then I wait a little bit more, and then I clear the graphic effects, which means it comes back to where it was originally. And I just do that in a loop, whenever. And so it's always checking to see if it touches the ball. And then I also give you some extra points too. In here somewhere, I add the points. Add the points somewhere. I can't see where anything is in here anymore. I think I put it in somewhere in here. I added extra points when you get hit with when you hit the cat, but I can't find it right now because I don't know. Can't find it right now. It's in here somewhere.
That's okay. So you made it that the cat is bonus points.
I mean, supposedly, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, now I can't find my... I can't find where I put it unless we messed something up here. So, yeah. So that we can just play the game. And here we go. And then I'm gonna let it go, and there you go. And then at the end, I have a little Toad man show up.
Yeah, so I see that.
He's called Wizard Toad, and when he receives a game over message, it shows itself here, says game over, and plays a little winning sound, and so that's it. And then when you start the game, it hides. So it's really very, very simple. Very simple.
Very nice.
So if there's anything we can... Oh, here it goes. Here's the... Here's where I do the score and stuff down here. There it is. I found it. When the cat gets touches the ball, it changes the score and it turns around and goes the opposite direction. And I could so that it goes back and forth.
Cool.
And it says I got hit. So pretty neat.
Cool. Very cool.
So yeah, we can change more stuff if you like to. You want to do anything else? You want to let's mess around with this a little bit while we're here.
Okay. Okay. So let's see.
You can do anything you want. We can change. We can go through these options. We can go through options for the logic options. We could change sprites or add something to the game.
I mean, I like the flying cat a lot, so I'm hesitant to change that.
We can. You like the flying cat a lot?
Can you make 2 flying cats?
Yeah, I think we can make 2 flying cats. Let's. Can we add another?
Add another cat.
Let's see. Can we add another? There's like a walking cat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, and now we got 2 cats, and so we could have the. Where do you want the walking cat to be?
Probably on the ground, don't you think?
Yeah.
Shouldn't the walking cat walk?
Yeah. So what do you want? What do you want the walking cat to do? We can kind of do like what we did before and have it walk back and forth.
Yeah, have it walk back and forth.
Okay. So,
super fast.
Oh, super fast. So we're gonna need like I guess a motion of some sort, right? You want it to be super fast. So what are you thinking? Like 30? Let's see. If that's too fast.
Super fast.
Whoa. Okay, so we're gonna need to do that, and then we're probably gonna need to do that. And like, what do you think next? Do it in a loop or something?
Yeah.
Probably have to do it in a loop. Well, now it gets stuck. It hits the side of the screen. So what do we have to do now?
Turn it around.
Yeah, we turn it around.
Go back.
So where was the turnaround thing? We're gonna cheat and go over look at what the thing was. It was It was if on edge bounce. That's what we need. That's in the motion. I think. There it is. If on edge bounce. Now let's see what happens. Okay, so now it's bouncing back and forth, but it's like turning upside down. So we have to change that to set rotation style is what I found did this. So we set the rotation style to left and right, and that should fix that. So there we go. So now we got
Yes.
this super fast. Is that fast enough for you?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so right now it's just there. Like if we play this game. Oh, it's not doing anything. Why is it not doing anything?
Why isn't it doing anything? What do you have to... I don't know.
Well, remember I said, how do you start things? Going?
Oh, when the green flag goes off.
Yeah.
Add that.
So we need an event. So this means it'll start doing this. Now, it doesn't have... everything doesn't have to be when you start the game. But if you want this to start up at the same time everything else does, you do the green flag. So now it should work. Oh, God, it's so fast. I was distracted by the cat. Try again. I got 24.
Nice.
So that's cool, but the cat's not interacting with anything. So right now it's just if you want to change that, we can change that too. But
do you have any suggestions of what it would interact with?
I mean, every time you hit the cat, we could have it do anything. We could have it like, I mean, there's apparently some way of changing the backgrounds. We could have it try to change backgrounds. We could have it to play a sound effect.
There you go.
So
Make it go boing or explosion or something.
I tried to find explosion. I couldn't find explosion. I think it's very, very kid safe here.
Oh, I got. So, I got it. Okay.
So, I tried. I mean, I immediately went to explosions and stuff. But okay, so we have this cat. So Chrissie has added a cat to our game. Is running back and forth super fast, and there's we can do all kinds of like looks. We can change his looks too when it gets hit. But we need to do something when it gets hit, which means we need to have like if we see from the other one, we need to have some kind of a loop where we're checking to see if we're getting touched by something, touched by the ball. So, we have a little loop, and so you can do this in any kind of order. It's like you don't have to. What is this thing called? It's a light blue ones. So like you don't have to do them in the same order. Like I put the loop down first, and we're gonna see touching. So, We want an if. We want an if then. Okay. Okay, so you see how we just kind of put these together like Lego blocks.
Yeah, I see it.
So they fit in. So so it's really cool is that so this is like a diamond shaped thing for what is it for sensing something, and it fits into a little diamond shaped cutout. So now if it's touching the ball, we can do something. So what do we want to do? If we want to do a sound, we can play a sound. We can get sounds over here.
Oh, a meow.
We have a meow.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Oh, we could do a meow.
Yes, that's really annoying.
Okay, so we can play a sound until it's done, which means it should play it once. A meow. That's a very loud meow. Let's see if we can make it a little softer. Let's see if that'll work. Let's see. I don't know. So I guess we'll find out if this works. We'll have to make it start looping, and let's see. Wow, we already won. Yep.
Wow. That was really hectic.
we
I
are.
like it.
Look at this. Look at full screen. Oh God.
I don't like your toad. Sorry.
You don't like my toad?
No.
My game is a little broken right now because the paddle's in the way. It's a bug. Oh my goodness. There we go. Very hectic.
I think the cat is nice. It's a good distraction.
Yeah, it is a
It
distraction.
makes it more difficult to use the paddle.
It is difficult. I was focused. I was so focused on it. I forgot we're on a podcast. You don't like my toad? What's wrong with my toad?
It doesn't match.
Well, I know it was supposed to be random. Well, what do you want to replace the toad with something?
Yeah, what do we got?
I don't know. We can change it to whatever. I guess I don't know how to replace something.
Choose from. You don't know. See, now we're learning something.
Yeah, I don't know how to replace it. So, what do you want to replace it with? I was just looking for somebody to celebrate that you got through your game. Cheesy puffs. I like the there's a bowl of cheesy puffs on the screen. If you're listening,
that's kind of funny.
There's a bunch of so there's all these categories in here of sprites. There's letters, fashion, food, and I'm sure you can. So Amelia was actually drawing her own sprite. You can do that too, but I didn't want to go through that effort for this. But you can draw your own things, and I guess probably modify these things. They have it's a limited selection, but they have a bunch. They have bears, crabs.
I think all right. You can keep your wizard toad. It's fine.
We could change its size. We could do all kinds of stuff to it.
He's in a bad spot.
Where do you want him to be? Where do you want him to show up?
Fine. Put your wizard toad back where it was. There you go. It's fine.
He just shows up and he's a wizard. That's why he just poofs into existence.
All right.
Although every time we play this game, the people listening are like, "What is that annoying sound?" So we got this. But you can see how this is see here you can modify the stuff in here. We could change its color and things.
Oh, that's fun.
And you could create different costumes for the sprites. You can switch between them on events, I believe. So you can create like you can anything you can really think of doing in response to stuff happening in the game, you can do. So if you want the cats to change in some way, when things happen, like you can change their color. You can change. Apparently, there's a different version of the cat. It's like that flying. I wonder what's another version of the. There's like different walking animations. So I think you can animate the cat walking by going back and forth between the two sprites. So that's how you do like an animation. If you imagine going really fast.
That's funny.
So you can do that somewhere in here. I think we can do that with switching costumes. So you can probably do it with that. Let's see what happens. I don't know if that's going to work. Let's find out. What if we have a loop that goes forever that switches a costume to B and then switches a costume to A? I have no idea if this is going to do anything.
Let's hit the play button and find out.
Oh, it's not doing anything. It's not doing anything.
Oh, you did nothing.
Maybe let's see what else can we can do to try to make this. Maybe we have to wait a little bit between them, like. Oh, it's going weird.
You broke it.
Yeah, maybe we're not very good at this. Maybe we have to wait again at the end if the loop will last longer. Maybe if we do this all, because animations happen over time. See, there you go. Now it looks like he's gliding across because it's not the animation's not going as fast as he is. The little cat is, but check it out. Look, even more distracting now. Oh my god! What if we slow him down? We could see this a little better.
Okay, you can only slow him down temporarily, though.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Now we have a little animation. We're gonna go back to Flash. So actually, he's running now like the Flash did on that TV show. He would run and it would just be like way faster than the steps would be. So there's this. So Chrissy's little cat is now running in animated style. Although it happens. So oh my god, there's so much stuff happening. It's hard to. I can't tell what's happening. I got 30.
I like the level of distraction there. I think that's good.
Well, we should show Amelia this game, see if she likes it.
Yeah.
If we go over here to the costumes for this cat here, maybe I want to change. Can we change his color or something? Maybe. I don't know.
No, don't change it. I like his color.
Okay, you like it the way it is. Okay.
If you like it for funsies, but
I thought you were gonna make it. Okay, fine. I was gonna make him look more Mace, but whatever. We're fine.
Oh, you want to make him black?
Yeah, I was gonna think that. I was thinking
Okay,
making one of them so you have to hit Mace with a ball.
Make the flying one black.
If I can figure out how. Let's see. I guess we can do colors.
How's that gonna work? It's gonna look weird because you're not gonna be able to see.
Oh, I guess you have to. You basically just have to fill it with color like that.
Oh,
You know.
Yeah.
So we could fill it with like a black color if I could figure out where black is in here. There we go. I guess that's. No, that's terrible.
That's bad. Hold on.
Maybe we don't want to do that. Maybe we don't want to do that.
He's lost all his definition, Steve.
Yeah, you have to have some kind of contrast. Well, we'll leave him alone. But but you get the gist of this whole thing here. Is there anything more you want to do with this? While we're here on this particular episode,
I feel pretty satisfied with the Mana Cat.
So you should play this. You should try it. I don't know. Do we want to attempt you sharing your screen, or is that going to be too much?
That's too much.
Because I want to see you try to play the game.
I mean, I can play the game. I'm just afraid of sharing my screen. I don't know how to do that.
You do it.
I could try to play it on my phone and let you know how it goes.
I have no idea if it works on your phone. Why don't you try opening up that link I sent you earlier?
All right, hold on.
So Chris is going to try to play this. In the meantime, let's just look at. I want to talk a little bit more about the Scratch itself, right? So the main Scratch website, you set up, like I'm Man Bear Steve on here. Like you could just set up a username. They tell you, by the way, not to use your real name, which is nice. So Chrissy has the game on her phone, and Scratch has been. It's meant for children, but obviously it's fun for all ages. And there is an app you can download, I believe, for different platforms. It's essentially the web app, I think, but it can run on your computer. You can download the game files, so you don't have to just play it in the web browser, but it's really easy. And when you share it, when you share the code, then anybody can mess around with it or can look at it. And look at all these things you can do. And some people do art. It's not just games. Like you could do music in here. Stories, apparently that might be popular. You can create animated stories, right? That would be popular for, I think, Amelia. Cool, right? You could just make kinds of art things in here, apparently. But they have a bunch of tutorials that are in here, and it's a really good time.
Nice.
Ideas, see, activities. Pong game. This is the one I went through. I went to, I guess, ideas, and I went down to Pong game, and that's how I followed it. And look, they have a taco, and I almost did this one, Chrissy. Animated character as a taco.
Nice.
But you can always go back to your stuff. You could see that I was making another version of the Pong game. It didn't go anywhere, but you can go back to it like that. So, do you
Nice.
have the game?
Yeah, you want me to play it now?
Yeah,
It seemed to like work fine on my phone.
I'm gonna full screen you so we can get your reaction.
Oh, okay.
Your solo layout right now.
All right, hold on. Here we go.
How do you know how this works with your? You have to touch it instead of a mouse.
Hold on. I did it last night. I can't hear it because I have everything. Oh, it's so fat. I'm terrible at this. Oh, there we go. It's not good. I'm not good at this.
I want to see your score when you're done.
17.
17. So there's no sound because you're
Because I have everything on
vibrate. Yeah.
vibrate.
But it, like, show the camera. Can we see it? Oh, it's blocking. Oh, there we go. Oh no, your messages just showed. No.
Yep. Hold on.
Was there anything private on those messages?
It was just you saying I added sounds and stuff.
Okay, good. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to put a phone on your head.
Indeed,
Oh,
indeed.
and now I lost my score of 17.
Well, still not bad at all. Not bad at all. So what do you think? What?
I think it's cute. I think it's a very user friendly little tool. We'll call it a tool. Isn't it a tool? You're a tool.
I mean, it's a yeah, it's a yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a tool. It's a kind of tool.
I don't know, what is it called? A website? A program?
What do they call?
What is it? That's what I was trying to use the correct word, but I don't know if tool is the correct word.
Well, let's see. They call themselves a coding community for children and a coding language with a simple visual interface. So it's a computer programming language and development environment. That's how I'd say it. Because when I work in Swift from Apple, like I use Xcode, which is a development like environment. It's a piece of software you use to build software using a specific like coding language or languages. And so this is kind of a similar thing. It's like an integrated, we call it an integrated development environment. That's what you call it in the computer programming world, where it's just like the software program that has all the tools you need to build something with it. That's what it seems like. It's like a very child-friendly IDE. So I think it's really cool. Last time I looked at this, it was not this easy to use. So this is really cool. The stuff you can do with a web browser is amazing. So it works on a Chromebook pretty decently.
Yeah, which is like the worst computers ever.
Yeah, I can't believe it works on a Chromebook. But it works. You have to use. I think it works in Safari too, but Chrome is what I was using because we're doing this in Chrome, recording this in Chrome. But yeah, I think it's neat. So you want to become a computer programmer now?
Nope.
You want to make some more games with me or something?
Nope. But if Amelia messes around with it, at least I know what she's doing, and might be able to help her.
Excellent.
I'm not like a video game person.
Well, you can do other things.
I didn't know what Pong was.
Yeah, that is mysterious to me. I don't know how you don't know what Pong was.
Mysterious.
I like your glasses.
You do? I do not, but they do help a little bit.
The reading glasses.
Yeah, for my blindness. Oh, God. But if I'm going to look at a tiny text on a screen here, they are helpful.
Okay. So I guess that's it. I mean, we're just wanted to do this little demo. I don't know how interesting that was for anyone listening, but watching it, I think that was probably pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely useful. I mean, if you have kids that are into video games and know what Pong is, or other video games.
Yeah, you know what? There was a game. Remember that Switch game I had you buy a while back?
Yes.
It was
It was similar to this.
Yeah, it was even. I think it's a little bit more advanced, but it's. Let me
Yeah,
see if I'll
this
bring it
was
up.
easier to. I feel like this was easier to understand.
Yeah, so let me just I'll show you this real quick. So like this is the game Builder Garage. It came out a little while ago, some years ago now, right? A year or two ago. And this is very similar that you can put together little pieces, but I think it's I probably a little more advanced. Like I saw people making like Sonic type games, 3D games with it and stuff. So this is if you want to start with Scratch and you have a Nintendo Switch, if your kid if your child really gets into making Scratch games and outgrows that, this is another option that is on Nintendo Switch. And eventually, you probably just want to go into actual, for real programming languages. And there's a whole bunch of them depending on what you want to do, from building websites to building mobile apps. Like if you have an iPad, you can use Apple's development environment. They have something called Playgrounds, which works on your computer. It also works on your iPad, which is probably where most people or most children would be using it. But let me I'll bring this up real quick too. So this is another great option if you have a child in your life that if you're one of your children really wants to get into programming, they outgrow Scratch, they outgrow Game Garage, whatever, some other things. You can use it on like your iPad, and you use the actual programming language Swift. But at least the iPad version especially has these tutorials and things you can modify, and has an easier to use interface, and it's super fast. So you get, just like with Scratch, you get real time updating of what your code is doing, and it updates on the screen. Same thing can happen here with Playgrounds. And these skills, if you get to that point, will directly translate into making for real applications. In fact, I think you can actually make applications in Playgrounds, and you can submit it to the App Store. So you can actually get an app in the App Store by using the Playgrounds app on the iPad, I think. So that's pretty amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of options, but you got to start somewhere. And I really just having used Scratch only for, like, I don't know, like half an hour last night or something, and then a little bit today, we'll mess around with it. It is really quite good at really making it easy to understand a lot of common programming concepts. And yeah, I highly recommend giving it a shot if you have any kids that are into computers and programming. And besides making video games, you can, as I said, you can make interactive stories or music with it, all kinds of stuff. Because once you can manipulate the aspects that go into a video game, that would be like visual things, audio things, sensing keyboard clicks and mouse movements and all the input devices. Once you have access to all that stuff, the sky's the limit what you can do. Doesn't have to be a video game. It could just be like an interactive story. It could just be a passive story. It could be all kinds of stuff. So very cool. The tools we have today are so much greater than they were when I was a kid. I had to learn to program. I think the easiest to use thing I had to program with was BASIC, like Quick Basic on an old DOS computer. And they had a few games on there. They were written like there was this one game. I think this gorilla was like throwing bananas or something. I used to mess around with that game and the physics. They were in there because you could see the code. But that was in just like BASIC, which is not hard to understand, but it's a lot harder than this. And it was just all text, And so you'd have to make the change and then like rerun the program to see if it worked. It was much more tedious. And then I moved into like some web development languages like JavaScript, which gave you more feedback because it was in a browser. But it was also much more complicated than this because you had to think about how a browser worked. And then, from there I went and, I did C in high school too. And that's like, the language, a lot of things are built in at the operating system level. And then eventually Objective-C and Perl and C#, these other languages for doing real life applications. And now I'm primarily working in Swift, which is primarily Apple's language for software development. It's really good. But got to start somewhere. I started with BASIC. Maybe the next generation of software developers will start with Scratch, and then honestly they'll probably have some AI tool write a lot of code for them, because that's a thing nowadays too. But I don't think programming is going to go away completely anytime soon. It's just the tools are a little overhyped in that respect. They're useful if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, a really great way to shoot yourself in the foot. So learn to code. It's useful. It's useful, I think. You can, even if it just is you mess around with like an Excel spreadsheet or something, or even if it's just you asking an LLM, like asking Bing or ChatGPT to help you do something or write some code for you, like write me some Python code, do something, or write me like a formula for Excel or whatever. If you understand the fundamentals, then you can understand the output of it, and then you can understand whether it's accurate or not, for instance. So that's my thoughts on software development.
Fun, Steve. Fun. I
So-
think you should do the wrapping.
Okay, the wrapping. Okay, here we go. So if you like this the content we're producing here, if you like the show, you want to help us out, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and click that bell so you get notified when we have updates. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Jenkintown Arts Garage. You go to jagcast.show to get links to the podcast and all the different podcast networks to subscribe. And you go to jenkintownartsgarage.com, which is our main website on the internet, where you can find links to everything, find out what we're up to. And my plan is to start revamping that. It has to be done before the end of the year, so stay tuned. And then finally, if you want to help us out monetarily, jenkintownartsgarage.com/coffee will bring you to Buy Me a Coffee, or you can donate a few bucks to help us pay for the hosting and such here. We really appreciate it. And I guess that's about it for the wrap up there.
Yeah. So
do you have any final thoughts, Chrissy, before we end the show?
Final thoughts with Chrissy. It's like
Should make it a segment.
No, we shouldn't, because my final thoughts are that seems like a pretty useful environment. Is that what you called it?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think Amelia would like that a lot. She keeps messing around with it. And she likes making things. So
share the link with her later tonight, so she can try it out on her Chromebook. See if she likes the game.
Yeah, I will have to email it to her.
Email it to her. Are you going to email it to her? Are you going to email it? Or are you going to like paste it in a shared Google Doc or whatever it is you do to talk to each other?
Oh, maybe I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We found a new way to communicate since she lost her iPhone in the house.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, I guess. I'll see you later. I got to go back to my actual programming job after this because we're recording this on my lunch break.
Yep. Get to it.
All
right.
Oh.
Bye, Steve. Wait. You
One more thing.
You want to tell me? What?
This is the penultimate episode of 2023, I believe, right? We're going to have one more that we're taking December off.
That's the plan.
So stay tuned. Next time is going to be something special. I don't know what yet. End of year blowout.
All right. I'll talk to you later. And we'll talk about that specialness.
Okay.
Bye.
We're learning to break the ice.